The fall is here, and so is the release of another Jesus movie. Usually these come out around Christmas or Easter, but I think there's a strategic purpose to this release, and I'll let you know my thoughts in this spoiler-free review of Light of the World. Young John has always been enamored with the stories of the coming Messiah, but when he learns that the Messiah is already here, a man named Jesus, he accepts the invitation and dedicates his life to following Jesus as one of his disciples. This decision takes John on an unexpected journey that brings joy, tests faith, defines truth, and at times inflicts deep sorrow. Amidst this myriad of emotions, John ultimately learns why God has sent his only Son, to be the light and save the world from the darkness in our hearts. Light of the World kinda came out of nowhere, but I'm thankful I had the opportunity to screen this film. Clearly designed for young children, this 2D animated feature takes liberties with the greatest story ever told. The entire story is told from the perspective of who many believe to be the youngest disciple, John. But Light of the World takes this theory to an extreme by portraying John as a tween or young teenager. What this does is it allows the story of Jesus to be seen from the perspective of a child, very similar to a film earlier this year, King of Kings, which was seen through the eyes of Charles Dickens' son. But where King of Kings used that perspective to exaggerate the story by blending reality with a child's imagination, Light of the World takes a more literal approach, where John just so happens to be present at each and every key moment of Jesus' ministry. An odd comparison, but it's similar to how Forrest Gump was present at every pivotal moment in American history. And just like Forrest Gump, at times John, in this depiction, interjects in various moments, such as encouraging the paralyzed man and his friends to go through the roof to meet Jesus, hanging out with John the Baptizer, or even introducing Jesus to the rest of the disciples.
This is Jesus.
Never heard of him.
Though this approach may bother some of the more stern members of the audience, the same people that object to the story threads in The Chosen, I believe it is designed for a purpose, to allow children to relate and better understand the story of Jesus, because that's exactly what Light of the World is. It's a children's movie. Where King of Kings felt more like a metaphorical piece of art, Light of the World is a 90-minute Sunday school lesson, utilizing the most famous stories of Jesus and telling them in a way with which young children can grasp and understand. To do this, various timelines are rearranged, important details are excluded, and characters' personas are manifested. Specifically John's father Zebedee, who takes some serious stray bullets early in this film by being portrayed as a major deterrent to John's opportunity to follow Jesus. Which may very well be true, but it's never articulated in the Bible. It also includes superfluous moments and scenes clearly designed to appeal to a young audience. John helps an upside-down crab. He immaturely kicks a stone out of frustration. There are plenty of uses of slapstick humor, and not to mention a scene that is clearly an homage to the Disney classic Aladdin. The 2D animation style adds to this appeal, and though the character designs are clearly inspired by 1998's The Prince of Egypt and are certainly aesthetically pleasing, the animation style does not quite reach those heights, and to be fair, few animations ever have. Light of the World straddles an interesting line between visualizing Jesus to an audience that already knows his stories and introducing the gospel to those that may have no knowledge of the Bible. At times, there will be a collage of the miracles and teachings of Jesus, which is amazing to us who know the details of these moments, but if you don't know these stories, those scenes may have little impact. At other times, it will take an aside to beautifully depict the parable of the Good Samaritan, a life lesson that is so pertinent to today, no matter who you are or what you believe. And that will resonate with everyone watching. This is where Light of the World is at its best, when it slows down to articulate who Jesus is and why he came to earth to be the ultimate sacrifice. And this is where I began to question the ultimate goal of this film. Is it just a visual abridged version of the Bible, or is it a tool to truly educate people about Jesus and his ultimate purpose? This is why the final moments of Light of the World are so important. As I mentioned in the beginning, there is a strategy. The final moments of Light of the World is a direct evangelical tool, showing the audience how to engage in a relationship with Jesus. And though this is only an introduction to the Christian walk, There's a post-credit scene that offers resources for Sunday school or home family discussions. It is offered with a QR code, not like the Angel Studios method of buying more movie tickets, which is really upsetting to some people, but it offers access to actual educational materials for people to better understand what they just saw on screen. Now, I haven't looked through all the materials to fully recommend anything, but they are aligned with organizations I respect, so I'm optimistic that this is accurate educational material for audiences to fully understand the gospel. And the hope is that the movie whet their appetites enough to further investigate the Bible itself. From a film perspective, this is a good children's movie with a solid yet simple visual style and a story that is fun and heartwarming but doesn't dig much beyond its surface. So I will give Light of the World 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is definitely good, but where I really think it shines is as a tool to share the gospel of Jesus beyond its 90 minutes in the theater. And I think it will be an opportunity for churches to engage with young people and families that may otherwise never have been interested in the gospel. For my appropriate scale from The Chosen to Pulp Fiction, this one is pretty easy. Light of the World is about as family friendly as possible, with the understanding that the crucifixion of Jesus is hard to grasp regardless of how gentle the visuals may be. The bottom line is, I think this is a beautiful film aimed to young kids, but I think middle school aged or teenagers may find it a bit boring. But I'll admit, the story is so important to me that I, as an adult, got choked up a couple times during the emotional moments. And I think churches should definitely be aware of this film and its additional content for opportunities in their Sunday schools. What do you guys think of Light of the World? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, I would love for you to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss any of my future content. Also, you can check out some of my other reviews by clicking on one of these boxes.